gamers. With the new selection pack coming out, I just wanted to give a quick little showcase of one of my favorite archetypes within the entire set, the Exosisters. The Exosisters are really cool, and I just wanted to give them a brief little showcase. If you want to check out what this deck does live, feel free to check it out on twitch.tv/Stevie Blunder. Now, on to Exosisters.
What happened? Are you okay? He slimed me.
So the Exosisters are a superfluity of nuns set out on a mission to exorcise the spirits of the dead. As a result, their effects are based around interacting with and shutting down the opponent's graveyard, all while working together with their respective sisters. It's basically Ghostbusters, but with waifus. All of the main deck Exosisters have two effects. One is a unique effect that either generates advantage on board or hand if their respective sister is on the board. Say Sophia and Irene, you can gain 800 life points. The second effect is a shared one that states that if your opponent moves a card out of either graveyard, you can special summon one Exosister Xyz monster from your extra deck, which all have an effect that can be used the turn that they were summoned with an Exosister, an ignition effect, and some sort of protection effect from monsters that are summoned from the graveyard, whether it be by battle or a card effect. Ideally, these sisters, armed with a spell and trap lineup of emergency teleports, quick effect Xyz summons, and rescue rabbits, form a really nice control shell based on disruption, resource generation, and eventually just big nun beatdown. And with that, let's get into the card by card. You got 3 Exosister Ellis, who can special herself for free if you control an Exosister monster, 3 Exosister Stella, who can special an Exosister monster from your hand, 1 Exosister Irene, she's kind of our Garnet. You can place an Exosister card from your hand to the bottom of the deck and draw a card, and 3 Exosister Sophia, who if you control another Exosister monster, you can just draw a card. For the spell and trap lineup, we're running 3 Exosister Pax, who is either a Stratos or the emergency teleport of the deck, because if we have the sister we searched sister on the field or in the graveyard, we could just special summon it instead of just searching it. 2 Exosister Armament, this card seems really good, but we can only use it on our own turn if our opponent has a monster specialed from the graveyard, plus it's searchable off of our extra deck cards, so we're only playing 2. And 3 Exosister Vadis. This is basically just Rescue Rabbit. It allows you to special summon 2 matching sisters, such as Irene and Sophia, and shuffles them into the deck during the end phase, and locks you into sisters for the rest of the turn. Really good for turn 3 setups. For the hand traps, we're running 3 Valor, 3 Maxi, 3 Ash Blossom, 1 Nibiru, and 1 Infinite Impermanence. Can you tell that I only own 1 Imperm because of the bundle? And for random bits and pieces, we're running 3 Pot of Prosperity just for consistency, 2 Call by the Grave because hand traps are the devil. We're running 3 Parallel Xseed. This card is really cute. You can technically turn this online with All Mirage and a normal summoned sister or a hand trap, but just be aware that you won't get the quick effect of the Exosister if you use only Xseeds for the summon. We're also running 3 Gozen Match because everything in this deck is basically a light and we don't really give a shit. For our extra deck sisters, we are running 3 Michaelis, the best Exosister. She protects from battle. Her quick summon effect is that she can target and banish a card your opponent controls or is in their graveyard, and can search for an Exosister spell or trap. Next, we're running 3 Caspatel, who also has protection from battle from graveyard special monsters, prevents summons from the graveyard when she's summoned for the rest of the turn, and has the ignition effect to add an Exosister monster from deck to hand. We're also running 2 Jabreen, who has protection from the activated effects of graveyard special monsters, and has the quick summon effect of targeting and negating an effect monster your opponent controls, like Imperm, and has the ignition effect that all Xyz monsters you control for the rest of the turn will gain 800 attack. And the last one, Exosister Asophiel, who shares the same effect protection as Jabreen, and on summon has the effect to prevent card activations in the graveyard, and the ignition effect to bounce a monster your opponent controls to the hand. For the rest of our extra deck, we're running 1 Gaia Dragon to Thunder Charger as just a general rank up to go into Zeus, because these are all Xyz monsters. We're playing 1 Salamangreat Almirage to turn on our Parallel Xseed when we're in a really tight pinch, and because this deck can spam rank 4s, we are playing 1 Number F0 Utopic Future, and 1 number F0 Utopic Draco Future, the secret win con of the deck going first. And with all the cards out of the way, let's get into the gameplay. So our game today is going to be against Hulk Turbo with a bunch of Auroradon shenanigans. You can really tell we're going to have a lot of fun. Our hand is looking really good, but we don't have a way to make a Michaelis on our turn, so we're just going to go normal Sophia. We're going to set the Armament and the Vadis and just pass. They're going to normal summon O-Lion. You could tell they bricked. They're going to attack our Sophia. We're going to pay 8 to activate the Armament, and we're going to go into Michaelis because it will special using Sophia as material. We do get the quick effect Dryden effect as well. They're going to go for the Fleur-de-Lis, and at this point we can kind of sniff out what they're going to be trying to do, which is basically just make a Hulk of Vibrax and go off. We're going to try to maxi the quick effect special. They're going to chain Ash Blossom, negating our maxi, and they're going to get the Fleur-de-Lis summon. But because I'm just going to guess that they don't really have any more extenders, otherwise they probably would have used them, we're going to Michaelis banish the O-Lion so they don't have a tuner. They're going to set 1 card and pass it back to us in the same column, so I'm really scared that it's Imperm. We draw another Ash Blossom, not really that good. We're going to use the Michaelis to search a spell trap, really needed that Pax. They're going to Dangerous Gabu us, but we are going to chain Exosister Vadis just so we can get some additional materials onto the board to at least sort of stabilize. We're going to get Irene and Sophia so we could draw a card as well. Our Michaelis is going to be negated, but we're basically just completely off to the races in terms of, you know, just getting our resource loop started. They're going to use the effect of the Gizmek Uka to special summon itself and target our Irene in order to special summon from deck, but fortunately we do have an Ash Blossom to answer that. We're going to use Sophia. It's going to draw a card, going to draw an Exceed. That's completely dead because we have no normal summon monsters. We're going to go into Exosister's Michaelis again. They're going to use the effect of Gizmek Kaku in order to deal 300. We're going to use the quick effect of the Michaelis to banish our opponent's Fleur-de-Lis, and Gizmek Kaku is going to hit us for 300 at the end of the chain. We're going to ram into the Uka, and because we don't really have any way to make Zeus because we are locked into Exosister monsters, we're basically passing on 2 vanillas, which is not where you want to be. But we do have the Ash Blossom, which is sick. They're going to normal summon the Sharakusai, and they're going to use the quick effect to summon the Gizmek Orochi. That does get them to Hulk, but fortunately we do have the second Ash that we did draw off the top because we are just the better overall player. Opponent, after seeing that they can't really progress from this point on and knowing that the Michaelis is just going to search a Pax, they decide to scoop it up. It's certainly no Zodiac, but it definitely does have some neat stuff going for it. Let's get into the pros and cons. With 1, it is consistent. Any 2 level 4s do it, and being that half of them basically just special summon for free, plus you have cards like Pax, Exceed, and the quick effect Xyz, make getting to any one of your Xyz sisters very, very easy. 2, it is really good at cracking boards and setting up certain kinds of disruption. Michaelis is basically just a better Trident, and all of the Exosisters serve as blowouts against certain kinds of decks. And 3rd, it is very flexible. You basically got about 20 slots in the main deck to fit whatever you want, and although this is a very pure control build that I'm showing off, you're free to slot in whatever combo garbage you feel like putting in. And the cons. 1, the fact that the Exosisters only get their disruption effect on the turn that they're actually summoned is extremely frustrating. Sometimes you'll wish you could lock your opponent out of the graveyard on your turn or want to banish on a follow-up turn, but sometimes you'll usually just be stuck with a vanilla. 2, half of their effects are basically worthless. If your opponent's on a deck like Eldritch, then sure, you're in a good spot, but if they're on a deck like Draco that doesn't really utilize the graveyard or sequences their plays around your effects, then you're basically playing with just bad rank 4 turbo. And 3, it is very reliant on the non-engine cards that surround it. Seeing a hand of Stella, Sophia, and 3 hands is very good, but seeing a hand of 5 Exosister cards really isn't where you want to be. Overall, it's a very fun and unique deck that, with future support, can definitely put out a whole lot more disruption and power, but right now it's really just lacking a little bit of that magic to really push it over the edge. If you want to see me play this deck live on stream, check me out at twitch.tv/Blunder, and yeah, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. Bye!